Well, we've been talking about panhandling all week long. The City of Toronto is looking to crack down on aggressive panhandling. They approach your car on your way to work and they're on the streets with their hats out for money. But what do we really know about the lives of panhandlers out there? Well, the Toronto Sun's Terry Davidson actually took it upon himself to find out. And he lived on the streets of Canada's biggest city as a panhandler for a day. He joins us now to talk about his experience. And you're going to actually put this in the paper on the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, so what motivated you to want to do this, and how did you approach it initially?
Well, one, it wasn't, my editors approached me about it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for a day, due to some time constrictions and stuff like that. It was really only for a few hours, really. But panhandling has been in the news a lot, mostly negative issues. I mean, ever since the Nicole Kish incident with the stabbing, and then just, what, a month ago, a gentleman had a squeegee. He was hit in the head with a squeegee by a panhandler.
Right.
So editors approached me and said, you know, why don't you try this? Just give a first-hand account of what the feeling is.
Yeah.
And it makes sense simply because I'm like you. I get up in the morning, I eat breakfast, I go to work, and then I work, and then I go home to a lovely wife, and we have dinner, and we talk, and we go to bed, and we do the whole thing. In other words, a certain amount of stability in all our lives.
Right.
Right? So what does it feel like to, and we fit into society, right? I mean, even with strangers, we walk on the street and we fit. We just fit in.
Yeah.
Well, what would it be like firsthand just to go out and be treated completely differently?
So did you approach other panhandlers, or did you just sit on a street corner and see how people approached you, for instance?
I just wanted to sit on a street corner. There was a couple different ones, just to see how people reacted. Just not even really necessarily to fool them or to see their reactions. I pretty much knew, but to see how it would feel for somebody who's not of that world to sit there and
constantly asking for money and for handouts.
Right.
What was the response like?
It was, well, for one, yeah, the experience was pretty horrible. It was done in a pretty short period of time, and I'm glad for that. People's reactions were, I mean, I can give you a couple of examples.
Sure.
You know, one woman passed by me, and for one, first off, I have to preface it by saying, you know, I mean, the standard reactions were they glance at you for a second, and then they look away real quick, right? Because it's poverty. What panhandling is, an expert sort of explained it to me yesterday. It was panhandling, it's poverty right in your face, right? So it makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? So people would look at me and then look away right away. And then you get the odd thing where a woman, a tall, beautiful woman in a long black dress walked by, and she walked fairly close to me because it was a crowded sidewalk, and she lifted up the side of her skirt as if to avoid a dirty puddle.
Horrible.
Right? So, and then you get other reactions, like, you know, a kid riding by on a bike who, the way he was dressed and his broken down, you know, bike, he looked like he should be where I was, and he just sort of pursed his lips and shook his head.
Yeah.
So it's not a great feeling to be in that position.
Thanks for sharing it with us.